What's going on YouTube? It's Brazen back here with another video for you guys. If you guys are enjoying the content, if you guys want to hit a like down below, subscribe if you guys are new here, and leave a comment letting me know you subscribe so I can welcome you to the family. And that being said, cue intro. What's going on YouTube, and welcome back to our off season of the New York Jets franchise. So bad news, our Ravens playoff game got corrupted, and I played it, but obviously I don't have the file, and we did lose that game, but we didn't have the file, unfortunately. It ended up being Bucks against Chiefs again. Chiefs did win that Super Bowl 56. It is what it is. I guess there's nothing I could do about it. We're just gonna check the recap. Which coach of the year we have coach of the year, rookie of the year is Trey Lance, and then Jeremiah Owusu-Koramoah. Defensive player of the year is Donald, offensive is Lamar, and then Lamar was the MVP. Like I said, Chiefs won the Super Bowl, and then Patrick Mahomes was the Super Bowl MVP. So that's basically the recap on the year. We obviously got coach of the year because we made playoffs. So we will spend some staff points right now, and just kind of want to explain how we're going to do this in the off season. So right here, we're going to spend 10 for the premier destination. And then right here for this one, now we can go ahead and buy the after school tutoring, which is what we want to do to get ready for next year. But basically, I'm going to do this off season in like a bunch of bits. Every time it's basically something that is important, like re-signs and things like that, or free agencies, I'll go ahead and do it. But we're not going to it's not going to be a full just as I do it, right? It's just going to be as the important stuff comes up, more or less. So basically just be ready for that. There'll be a lot of cuts and everything like that. So yeah, pretty much that's it. All right, so we are in free agency, which is week 1 right now. I pretty much looked through the positions, and honestly, I don't see a lot that we need. So we don't really need a running back, right? We know we really don't need any of these skill positions on offense. You're thinking maybe tight end would be the only one that we could get, but I honestly don't really see any great tight ends. Maybe like a David Njoku would be the only one that I would see, but I don't know if I want to spend a lot of money on him. I think he would be beneficial, but I'm just not sure. That's really, there's no linemen, no good ones. Left end, D forward, Olivier Vernon are both stars at 31, which we don't want when we have a 25-year-old 79 overall star. D tackles, we obviously have 2 good ones, so someone like these players are just not very good. Right ends, we obviously have Carl Lawson, which once again we don't need. Linebackers, there really isn't a lot of players here. We really would want a star dev. Or a good, we'd also want star dev or a good age, right, as well. So someone like Keanu Neal is a maybe, but we think we'll probably be able to take someone in the draft, honestly. Chris Barnes was also someone I looked at because he is 24, 6'2", 229 field general. But personally, I just think linebackers we're going to get in the draft, so I'm not too worried about that. Now, one that I was definitely looking at is J.C. Jackson. He's an 86 overall, 26-year-old. He fits our scheme, and he's a star dev. You look at some of these other ones, they're a little bit older. I think there was one down here, Avonte Maddox, who's 26, but obviously, he's 26, but he's like a 70 whatever. Where J.C. Jackson, he's going to get bid on a lot. We obviously need some corners, or we could use some corners, I guess. So I'm thinking about using him. So he needs 36 total, 17, so 36.9. Let's see if maybe we can make that 37. And we're going to try to get J.C. Jackson. So we have 94 points. I don't know what they're at. Bid details. That's what we're doing. I don't know. I think we're in second right now, so I don't think we really want to go too much higher than that, to be honest. We may lose out on it. We don't want to go too high, but there's really not a lot to do here. If we look at our scouting board, right, in free agency, there's just not a lot that we need. Because we know we have a lot of draft picks, right? And we've obviously done almost all of the positions. Now there is the combine grades now, so we will definitely go ahead and study that, and look at that a little bit better. You can see we have a lot more of the scouting points as well, so we can really deep dive into some of these positions that maybe we weren't going to. Like we could look at 5th round tight ends, right? Just see someone like this. Trevor Mills is a 2nd round talent, 40-yard dash, 4.68, 7 3-cone and shuttles are pretty good. Things like that. So that's someone we're probably going to add to our board. We'll probably look at a little bit more linemen just because it's probably good to do that. No one really there worth anything. we'll probably just start looking at a little bit later rounds pretty much through each position and just see if we can find anything. 6 rounds and undrafted don't really do too good. Obviously, combine grades also help. And we'll have to, like I said, we'll study the combine grades a little bit better. We missed this left end. I don't know where he came from, Dorian Kramer, but he's 2nd round. But we don't really need a left end, so we don't really need to waste too many points on them. Whereas outside backers and things like that, like he has a 6.8 combine grade. He's a 5th round talent, nothing too crazy right there. We are out of scouting points basically now. So we'll look at it a little bit more. We'll go on to the next week. I'll start making my board as well, and then we'll get back to you guys. All right, so week 2 of free agency. So it looks like we actually got J.C. Jackson accepted, which is good. That kind of helps out our problem with our cornerbacks just a little bit. Like we said, we've already looked at free agents, but I don't think I'm going to spend much money because the players, I don't really need a lot, and I'll show you in the scouting kind of my game plan. And it's going to switch a little bit, obviously, because you can't choose exactly where players are going to get drafted or anything like that. Keon Stevens, he did win the Heisman, so we probably should just scout him, which he won the Heisman, but he doesn't end up being great. But so we don't obviously need a quarterback or a running back for sure, although running backs are never bad. But something that we were looking at is, we put our draft board together. We'll just go ahead and go draft board first. So we'll show you the overall. So Joey Dickens is a 1st round pick. We have Dante Hardy, who is good. We're going to have to organize this probably a little bit better as well. Dexter Albert. So you're looking at which positions or which where they go, right? Which rounds. So we'll kind of move them around. There's some players that I don't think I'm going to take just because of where I'm going to have to take them. But if you just kind of move these around, I kind of want them in order in the rounds they're supposed to be taken in terms of which round, because you can take them basically just a little bit earlier than needed. You don't have to necessarily take him, right? Like Ed Bell, he's a 5th. They're saying he's going to go in the 5th round, but he's a 2nd round talent. So if we take him in even the 3rd round or the 4th round, we should be okay to get him. And that's kind of the way it works for a lot of these players. I'm thinking 1st round, the player I think I need the most, which I don't know where. I think is it Mason Turner? I don't know if it's Mason Turner or if there was another. Was it Billy Fox? Yeah, Billy Fox. Look at this guy's 1st and 40, 1st in vert, 1st in broad jump, 2nd in 3-cone, 1st in shuttle, 1st in bench, and they're saying he's a late 2nd rounder who's supposed to go in the 3rd, so I can take him early 2nd round. I'm thinking I'm gonna take both of these centers if I can, because Mason Turner is also fairly good. He's got good pass block, run block power, and I'm just gonna move one of them to guard and just basically go with them two because I think they're the most talent in this class. Someone else I think is good is Jonathan Bassnight. He is a late 1st rounder, but he's the 40-yard dash 1st in tight end. He's super good combine report, and he's got A- catching, B+ catch in traffic, B+ spec catch. So I think 1st round, if I can get Joey Dickens as well, that would be useful. But I'm definitely going to think probably center, maybe a middle linebacker, Dante Hardy or Joey Dickens, depending if he's there. And then I might even I'll probably take center, one of the middle linebackers, and then maybe a tight end, and then I'll take, someone like Billy Fox in the 2nd round. And then we're going to play it by ear with the linebackers. Dexter Albert's very good. He's a run stopper. He's not great at the 40 time, but he's pretty good. We want a run stopper. Rashawn Oliver, he's just so good in the combine report. But he's a pass rusher. So he's a speed rusher. So I don't know if we really want him. But we're going to kind of play it by ear. Like I said, we got a little bit left. And then we'll go ahead from there and kind of do it. Well, I guess we could start scouting some of these top guys. Although we kind of want some sleepers, maybe some players that we can draft later. So let's do some wide receivers. And we can only do like one, honestly. But, maybe we'll grab a wide receiver late in the draft or, just to get some depth or whatever the case is. But pretty much that's it for this week. We'll get some more scouting points and we'll go from there. All right, so we're ready to go into the NFL draft. We're ready to start it. We are going to start drafting. And then we're obviously going to pause the timer because we're not about to do that. Pause draft. We definitely don't want that timer going the whole time, but we're just going to show you guys our picks. So we'll just sim forward and then do our picks every time. So first one we'll do is we'll skip ahead to next user pick, and then we'll see who is actually here. So we don't really want to trade away too much. Let's see who's here, and then we'll think about trading away. Pick player. And then, like I said, we could look and we could always come back to it. So Joey Dickens looks to be here. So we obviously want to go our draft board. So we know Joey Dickens is here. They say he's a first-round linebacker. He's pretty good. He's 5th and 40, but he's still pretty good. Bench press, shuttles, broad jump. So he's a pretty good player, 6'2", 21-year-old run stopper. And then the rest of our board is pretty much here because we're not really looking at first-round talent. So if we are, but they're talent first round, but they're not first round, right? So if we look available, right, there's players like this left tackle who's horrible. But Joey Dickens is pretty high on here. Eric Miller is a little bit higher, but he's a speed rusher, so he's not necessarily what we want. So Joey Dickens is going to be our pick. Let's get a middle linebacker for the future. Going to go ahead and confirm that. Let's see what they say about him. And he is hidden, which is very good as well. They say he's ranked 19. We took him at 16, so that's not very much of a reach. That means he probably would have been taken in a couple picks. And he's hidden, which is awesome. So go ahead and we will move on to our next pick from here. All right, so we're on to our next pick, pick 21, and we're going to be taking Mason Turner. Obviously, like we said, I think he's more important to us than Jonathan Bassnight personally, just because Mason Turner is very good in the combine report, and also we just need a lineman more than we need a tight end, in my personal opinion. He's a mid-first round talent. So we are going to draft him. It's probably going to say a good pick. He's ranked 10 talent, and we got him at 21. He's also a hidden, so he's at least star or better, which is a great 2 picks for us so far. We got 2 star or better players. I'm super happy about that. And then we will go ahead and hop right into our next pick. We're just going to skip ahead because we know who we want. So we're going to skip right ahead to the user pick. And hopefully he's here, right? So if he's not here, this will kind of mess it up a little bit. But the tight end should be here, hopefully. Let's go to our draft board. And Jonathan Bassnight is here. Perfect. We know we want him. You can see he's an all-world talent, combine. Late first rounder is his talent level. We're taking him at 28. So it's definitely worth it. Let's go ahead and take him. And let's see what they say. He's once again hidden. It says you reach by a pick. Obviously, that's not a reach at that point. But he's also a hidden. So that's 3 hiddens in the first round. Huge 3-star or better players. Super big, 75 overall. And we will go ahead and move on to our next round. All right, so for our next pick, we know who we're taking. It's round 2, pick 3. We don't care. We're taking Billy Fox because we know this guy's just crazy on the combine report. And we need to beef up this line a little bit more. So we're going to go ahead and click on Billy Fox, draft him. He's 64 talent. We took him at 35, but he's another hidden star or better. So great pick. I don't care if they say that's a reach. Obviously that means, I guess we could have. So we're going to go to the next user pick, which is later in this round, which technically this would mean, that we could have took him here. But it is what it is. We're still looking. So there's players like Tim Marion that is a speed rusher that they say is first round talent, but he's not good on the combine report, right? Ben Gibson, someone else that is not very good on the combine report. You look at some of these top players that I have. Paul Hewitt is a really fast receiver in the slot, but he's not a huge need for us. And we're looking draft board, right? And you see some of our players did get taken, but this is where I have a little bit of a question, right? Do I take Dexter Albert, run stopper, decent? He's got a 4.7, 31 or 40-yard dash, 3-cone and shuttle. Broad jumps are all decent. Vert jumps pretty good. Pursuit, tackle, block, shed. Or do we take Manu Gonzalez, who is, not as good, right? But he's decent. And then we also have Rashawn Oliver, who is a crazy beast on the combine report, but he's pursuit, tackle, awareness, early 3rd rounder. I think I'm going to go Dexter Albert just because I think let's get a run stopper. I think it'll just be better for us, personal opinion. So I think that's who I'm going to take. I think we're going to get Dexter Albert right here. We're going to go ahead and draft him. Let's see what they do. Another hidden. He's ranked 25. We get him at 49. Another hidden right here for us. Just a super great draft. We have all of them have been hidden so far. And then we'll move on to the next picks. All right, so round 3, pick 10 here. We want to definitely probably make our selection, I'm guessing. So we're definitely going to go ahead and look into this and just check out our draft board and then also what we have picked already. So we got a tight end. We got 2 centers, which we know the centers themselves are not a big deal because that means that we are taking one of them and moving him to right guard. Our left tackle and left guard are perfect. So we have a center, let's just say right guard, and then we're going to draft a right tackle, which those are really the 2 on our board anyways. So that will be basically what we have left on the offensive side of the ball, and that's pretty much all we need to draft. Besides, we might get a fullback later, and then linebackers, we have Cashman, who is pretty decent, and then we play a 4-3. So we've drafted 2. We could draft another one, or we can draft something else. So I think first we're going to look at the right tackle, and then this is round 3. So I have 2 picks. So I may trade one of them away and try to get a couple later picks. I don't know. We'll kind of see. We got Will Hanna and then Aaron Theory. So Will Hanna's not great, but he's okay. He's a mid-second rounder, 6'8", 324, age 22. He's power archetype. They're both power. First in bench press, Will Hanna is 9th. So I think, based off the combine report, we don't really need broad jump and vert jump, I don't think. So I think Aaron Theory is going to be a little bit better. If you look at them, they're impact blocking, lead block, and then run block versus pass block. We really like being a run blocking team. So I think I'm going to take him. I know he technically won't go to the 4th, but he's a second round talent. We're in the 3rd. And really, I'd much rather get the player I want rather than just drafting for value, which he is a good pick, but he is normal. So that's our first non-hidden player of the draft, unfortunately. We're going to skip ahead to our next user pick as well, and we're going to look at it. Let's make our selection. Now, this is where it gets a little tricky, right? What do we need? We're in the 3rd round. We have 1/3, 1/4, a 5th, 6, 6, 6, right? So we have our draft board. Let's look at our draft board. We could take one more backer right now, which would be Rayshon Oliver, who is a crazy combine. And then let's say we take him in the 3rd. In the 4th round, we really don't need Will Hanna anymore because we have 5 linemen. So I'm probably just going to remove him from our board. And then in the 4th round, we could probably take Ed Bell just so we get him. So we could take Rayshon with our pick right now, Ed Bell, and then from there we can just pretty much make it work. I think that's what I'm going to do. I know, like I said, he doesn't really fit our scheme. We'll make him fit our scheme, but also he just is a crazy talent, it looks like, and I think he's going to be hidden. Just based off the fact his combine's so crazy, I think he might be a hidden. He might not be, who cares, but I think I'm going to draft him right now. Let's see what he is. And he is a hidden just like that. He's ranked 72, got him at 84. Crazy good value. Actually super worth it. We're going to send him forward to our 4th rounder because we know who we're taking. So we're going to go next user pick. And hopefully he's here. We're going to make our selection. I'm hoping, fingers crossed, he's here. Let's go to our draft board. And Ed Bell is here, so we're going to take him. He's 4th and 40-yard dash. So he's got a 4.4. His bench press is good. His shuttle and cone are all good, right? And he's really good. And he doesn't have to be a stud, right? As long as he's decent, he can at least make the roster and maybe develop for us. So we're going to draft him as well. No, he's a normal, not a big deal. We draft him at 60. Or sorry, we draft him at 113 with a 60 true value, which is really good as well. We can look at some of these ratings as well. 92 speed. His zones aren't very good. Playback 75. But he's got that 92 speed, which is fairly decent. At the worst case scenario, he doesn't do too much for us, but we're not too mad about it. We're going to kind of get the last couple picks of who we think we need in the 5th, 6th rounds. And then I'll come back here and kind of work it out for us. All right, so I know the next 2 picks I think we're going to take. It's round 5. These players are technically undrafted, right? We have a kicker and a fullback. But I think I'm going to take them because, honestly, these are the 2. I want these 2 players. So, you know what? We're just going to take him. You can see this Ty Mathis utility player. But he's also crazy, right? Like, look at how good he is compared to everyone else in the combine report. And they say he's an early 4th round pick. So we're going to get him at a good value. Like I said, we don't really expect much from him necessarily, but we're going to skip ahead to our next user pick. We're going to get the kicker, and that's really all we need. So we're going to make the selection, pick a player, and that's why I think we're just going to kicker. Like, we could look at, there's some wide receivers that have low value. They have horrible combines, right? 44th in speed with the 4.6. I mean, there's not great value, and we really don't need one anyway. So I might as well just take the kicker. We kind of need one, to be honest, and he's fairly decent. He's got A+ kick power, so I'm like, you know what? Let's try it. We do need a kicker anyways, right? Because we didn't want to re-sign that horrible kicker we had. And then if we skip ahead to our next user picks, we might honestly just simulate them. I'm just going to look or just make a quick selection, to be honest with you. We have like the last 2 picks. I mean, I guess we could take a wide receiver. Let's just look at some 4.63, 4.48. But he's not very good at anything else. Maybe we'll take this guy. He's a late 4th rounder. He's all positions, like one of the top values, I guess. So let's just take him and just see what he comes out to. He's good value. He's normal. You know, he'll probably be our 4th receiver. He won't really bring us much value. Let's skip to our last pick. And then we have one more. So we'll make our selection, pick a player. We did really good. We don't really need a free safety or anything, right? We'll kind of look, I guess. I mean, maybe we take a free safety or something crazy. I mean, he's not bad on the combine. So let's just take Timmy Butler. Why not? Reach, he's not really worth much. He was kind of like an undrafted player. Is what it is. I think we finished it, so advance to the end of the draft, and then hopefully we can look. at our draft board. Is there around 7 picks? Well, if there was, we traded it, so we didn't really need it. So definitely really good. Let's look at our draft recap before we move on. Let's look at it. So we took Dickens in the first round, pick 16. Turner, Jonathan Bassnight, Billy Fox, Dexter Albert, Aaron Theory, Rayshon Oliver, Ed Bell. And then we got Ty Mathis, Peyton Harden. These last 2 players we didn't really need too much, but pretty good job in my opinion. What we're gonna do is fix them all in the depth charts, move them to the positions we want, everything like that, and then we'll kind of come back and show you what our lineup's looking like, kind of going into the rest of the year. All right, so we got our lineup pretty much all set up. You can see, so we have a superstar left tackle with a star left guard, 2 hit-ins, which are probably star betters, right, at center. And then Billy Fox, he was our backup center, which we obviously drafted. He was a 70 overall. He's a 72 overall guard, so he really didn't do too bad. Adam Theory, I believe it's Adam. He's a right tackle who's nothing, but he is a rookie, so obviously he's still good. Bass Knight, pretty good. Tight end, right, with that hidden development. Zach Wilson, star. Corey Davis is star. We got 2 superstars, Michael Carter and Elijah Moore, who were our rookies last year. And then we took Mathis, right? So a little bit of a different offense, but we're looking pretty good, especially with all the hidden developments. And then you see what we were able to do defensively. So we have 2 star safeties. We moved our Bell, the Ed Bell, I think it was, from cornerback to safety, since he doesn't have any crazy development. He's more going to be a backup, but that way maybe we can have a little bit of fun with our defense. And if someone gets injured, we do have a backup there, especially because we got star JC Jackson. We have Austin Javelin, who's very good, and then Bryce Hall, I believe, is our number 3, and then Javelin's number 4. Michael Carter's number 5. Our corners did pretty good last year, so that's why I was like, you know what, we brought in JC and then we'll move Bell just back to backup safety. Obviously, our D line's fairly good. I guess we could have used a hidden development D tackle, but Rankins and Quentin Williams get the job done with Franklin Myers and Lawson. And then, like I said, our linebackers are looking pretty good there too. Kicker-wise, we got, well, that's not our kicker. That's our long snapper. But kicker-wise, we got Harden right here. He's not very good, but, he was a decent talent, so he's doing pretty good for us. And then specialist, we obviously got Elijah Moore in the slot. Third down running back is Hines right now, but I think I'm going to make it Michael Carter. I think we need to get him a little bit better at that going into next year, in my personal opinion. Michael Carter's our power back. This is our pass rushing line. Slot corner is obviously going to be Hall and then Javelin. So we're going to move Bell back, which will be Javelin and then Hall. And then we have Dickens, and then probably not. I don't know if we really want either of these guys, to be honest with you. We have Dickens and then Oliver. I guess he's a pretty crazy talent, so I guess we'll leave him as our kind of dime defense in there. Or nickel, actually, because dime will move out. But that's pretty much our lineup for now. We'll go ahead and keep advancing. I think this is pretty much the end of the offseason, but we'll go ahead and keep looking. All right, so that is actually the end of the offseason. Obviously, just sims to the preseason. We'll go ahead and get it going. I might do a little bit of simming this year and maybe just do more of the kind of offseason and scouting updates, things like that, but just sim a little bit more of the year. That way, it's a little bit more comparable to really how it would play. It seemed like it was fairly easy for me to move the ball towards the end of the last year, even with some pretty high sliders. So I think that's what I'm going to do and watch them kind of develop from the outside. Maybe I'll play the playoffs is what I'm thinking. Let me know what you guys think about that. And that's what I'm thinking is if we make playoffs, then I play those games. Maybe I play the moments, right? And then if I do get to the Super Bowl, then I play the full game or something like that. So let me know what you guys think about that. Maybe I play the moments all year as well. That way I still have some say in the games, but obviously if we get blown out, we get blown out or something like that. Let me know though. Go drop a like. We had a very good draft. We had like 5 hit-ins in a row to start the draft, which was very good. So go ahead and subscribe, turn on the post notification bell, and as always, I will see you guys next time.